Welcome back to the shop, guys. Sorry it's been a while, but today we got a major component for the 79 project. I'm excited to get going on this, and I'm sure you guys will be too, so stay tuned and let's get at it. Alright guys, since it's been so long, I'm going to go over where we left off. So we worked on the hubs along with the traction bars. The traction bars can't be welded on really at this point because I wasn't sure if we were going to use a front wheel drive transmission or we were going to go all wheel drive. So this led me up to a question which I was having a hard time answering, and that was, am I going to keep it front wheel drive or go all wheel drive? The reason why I was a little skittish to go all wheel drive is because the parts are getting extremely expensive and rare, so I didn't want to have to deal with the price and tracking the parts down. But this project has dragged on so long that I'm just going to go ahead and go all wheel drive and do the work now, because I don't want to get this car done and then tear it apart and have to fabricate more parts, you know what I mean? But anyway, so that led me up to needing a transmission. So this is the major component we picked up for the all-wheel drive swap on the 79 project. This is a 2001 CRV transmission. As you notice, it has a transfer case there. It really looks like a front-wheel drive B-series transmission. One thing you'll notice real quick is the starter's on the front and its shift linkage is cable instead of actual linkage like normal B-series transmissions. Picked this up from a JDM importer. I'm not sure if it just came from a junkyard here in the States or if it came from Japan. One thing that would lead me to believe it came from Japan is the fact that they cut the cables, they cut the wiring harness. Normally here in the States, recyclers, they'll keep the cables and the wiring harness because they can resell it to someone else. The first thing I'm going to do is clean up our all-wheel drive transmission. I'll take the cut-off cables off of there. We'll take the wiring harness that they cut off. We'll take the slave cylinder and the starter off and clean up the trans just a bit. We'll use our engine lifter. We'll pick this up. We'll pull it out. We'll swap the transmissions. We'll stuff it back up in there, and we'll see how bad or how much modification we're going to need to do to get it to fit there correctly. Another thing, we're going to have to get another passenger side mount because that one's not compatible with the all-wheel drive. I'm hoping the transfer case lines up with the tunnel and we can just run it straight back. One of the benefits of using the all-wheel drive transmission in this car is I can use cables instead of shift linkage, which is a huge plus because then it gives me the flexibility to move the shifter where I need it. I want to show you guys just how tight this transmission fits. You can see there's literally no space back there. So we're fingers crossed that our all-wheel drive trans will fit. Transmission out of the car. If you look on the right side, that's the front wheel drive transmission, and on the left side there's the all-wheel drive transmission. So you can kind of see that just has a 90-degree gearbox that comes right off the differential, and this one's just the diff goes right to the two front axles. Some of the similarities, you see the clutch master or slave cylinders in the same spot. There's similar mounting points on the front. You can see where the bearings sit inside the case. It's very similar. I'm imagining they're probably pretty close to the same. On the top of the all-wheel drive transmission, you got the shift change selector. Obviously we don't have that on the front wheel drive because we've got a little shaft on bottom that connects to the linkage. We'll get these swapped and then back in the car, Hopefully it fits. So the transmission on the left is the one I just took off. It's the front wheel drive trans, and then the one on the right is the all wheel drive trans. After I got these side by side, first thing I thought is I want to see what the weight difference is. I don't have a very good scale, but I do have my wife's scale right there. She's probably not going to be happy I got it out here, but whatever. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw the throttle bearing on this one. I'm going to take the axle stub that they cut off. I'm gonna remove it, and then we'll do a weight comparison. I'm sure that scale isn't even close to accurate, but you can kind of see the difference between the two. I'm sure it's pretty close, but I wouldn't put my money on that it's exact. First off, our scale is kind of a piece of crap, so it only flashes the weight for a really quick second. So you'll have to really look close to see it flash. Oh, that's not gonna work. That's not gonna work. It doesn't want to sit on the scale very well, and I can't really prop it up because then the weight will go to the ground instead of on the scale. What I had to do is move the camera so that we can see the screen, because I have to cover it up in order for the transmission to sit on the scale. 89 pounds. I don't know if you guys saw that. Okay, so 89 pounds for that bad boy.
Hey, why is the bathroom scale slippery?
I don't know. Oh yeah, that was definitely heavier. A whopping 120 pounds. So it's definitely heavier than the front wheel drive transmission. Heavyweight champion of the world. Our lovely B series all wheel drive tranny weighed 120.4 lubs. And then our front wheel drive GSR trans weighed 89.1. Of course it doesn't want to write. Let's go down here. 89.1. So if my math is right, that's a difference of 31.3 pounds. So the all-wheel drive is significantly heavier. One of these days I'll take off the transfer case right angled gearbox and see what the difference is then. But yeah, that's actually a significant amount of weight different. I mean, obviously it's gonna weigh more, but 30 pounds, it's a lot. Looks like we're really, really close. As you can see, it's hitting that brace right there, which we can probably cut that off and redesign that. But I know right here is supposed to be damn near touching that if you compare it to the front wheel drive transmission. Looks like it's probably gonna clear, man. I think I could push it back a bit and it'll probably work out. And I'll go underneath and check out how it's lined up with the tunnel. This kind of gives you a view from the other side. It's pretty close, but it's definitely hugging the passenger side of the tunnel. Let's see if I can get a better view. See how it's kind of closer to the passenger side than the driver's side. I also have the engine too high. It needs to be lowered a bit. And we got our old linkage on there I need to take off still. But it looks like it's gonna work. We just gotta do a little bit of modification to our K-member and then get it recentered and re-leveled and all that. So stay tuned and thanks for watching, guys.